In this video, I'll summarize Open Up 7th grade Unit 4, Lesson 4, half as much again. So let's use fractions to describe increases and decreases. You remember today when we talked about this problem, walking half as much again? You were asked to fill out a chart based on like if a turtle walks this far, etc. What would happen if they walk that far plus half that length again? You guys were pretty quick. You just had like 15, 4.5, 6.75, 1.5. But then when it came to this x, we had a few different ways that people were representing it. So I saw some 1.5x, some x plus half of x, some 3/2 x. And I just want to review and talk about how could these be the same or how could they be different. So if Mai wrote x plus 1/2 x and Kieran wrote y equals 3/2 x, what's the same about the equations? I hope you can notice they're equivalent. They equal the exact same thing. 3/2 is 1.5, so a full x plus another half x. What's different? They're just written in different formats. The second one's more simplified than the first. And can you notice how the 1.5 shows up? How does it represent it? Well, in Mai's, the x is the one whole and the half x is the half of x. In Kieran, he combines them and puts 1.5 as 3/2 and multiplies that by x. So I want you to look at these diagrams and I want you to try to write an equation that represents the relationship between x and y. So try that on your own and then come back and look. So for A, notice the x is broken to thirds and then there's extra 1/3 at the side. So you might say y equals 4/3 x or y equals 1 1/3 x. I'd also like you to notice that x equals 3/4 y, that reciprocal there. All right, and for C, y is smaller than x this time, and hopefully you wrote y equals 2/3 times x, y equals 2/3 of x. All right, if we look at these exact same scenarios and I give you a story problem, Tyler spent X dollars on a new shirt and Noah spent 1/3 less than Tyler. Which tape diagram and equation can model this? I hope you picked C, y equals 2/3 x. Notice the first one is the same as saying x plus 1/3 x. And the second one is the same as saying x minus 1/3 x. And if Noah spent 1/3 less, he's spending 2/3 of the amount. All right, so today's goals. You want to be able to use the distributive property to rewrite an expression like x plus 1.5 x, plus 1/2 x, as the quantity 1 plus 1.5 times x, so you can simplify that and write it as 3/2 instead. And second, I want you to make sure that you understand that half as much again and multiply by 3/2, they mean the exact same thing, and similar fractions like that.